Hey everyone, Logan Williamson here. In this video, we're going to talk about the top 10 reasons why Reno is criticized and why, if you're thinking about moving up here, you may want to reconsider. Make sure you stick around. All right, hey there everybody, Logan Allen Williamson here representing Williamson Professional Real Estate Sales. I appreciate you sticking around the channel. Hey, if you're considering buying or selling real estate up here in Reno, Nevada, this is the channel for you. If you haven't already done so, please make sure that you give us a big like on this video. It helps the channel reach a lot more people. If you haven't already done so, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. I come out with new content about living in Reno, eating, sleeping, playing, working, and having fun, living your life up here in Reno, Nevada. If you're considering a move inside of Reno or up to Reno, this is the channel for you. I'd honor you as a subscriber, and I would love to have you watch this content regularly. Also, please share this video and post a comment below. If you want my free buyer's guide or my free seller's guide, just shoot me a comment right below this video and I'll go ahead and get that sent over to you. Now in this one, we're going to talk about a number of different things regarding the Reno area, why the Reno area is criticized. We're going to go through the top 10 reasons why Reno, Nevada is criticized and what some people don't like about it, and why you may want to reconsider moving to this area if you're actually considering this as your next home. What I would tell you is if you are considering a move up here, I want to speak with you. I get people contacting me daily from all over the world that are relocating up here to Reno, and I absolutely love it. My email, my phone number, they're all going to be below. All my contact information is going to be in this video, so please make sure that you reach out to me as soon as possible so that we can discuss your next move, whether that be inside of the Reno metro or whether that be to help you get from out of state up to the Reno area. Okay, hey, so diving right into the content here, there's the big 10 reasons why Reno is criticized, and we're going to talk about them right now. Number 10, let's dive right in. Okay, so yes, Nevada is a desert, and Reno is a part of that desert. It's a 7-hour drive from Reno to Las Vegas, arguably the only two big real cities inside of Nevada. But what I will tell you is that Reno being in a desert, well, some people don't like that. They say it's too desolate, there's no scenery. I don't agree with that. I actually think some of the drives up here in the Reno area, inside and outside of town, within 15 minutes getting outside of town, you really experience what the high desert is just from a scenic standpoint, and it is absolutely gorgeous. You have rolling hills and mountains here. The pastel colors of the landscape, especially during the sunset times, are absolutely beautiful. So whereas some may see being in the desert as something that is detrimental, I think it's absolutely beautiful up here, and I think that you would argue the same. Okay, number 9, it's hot. Well, is it? In Reno, you're going to experience all 4 seasons in moderation. So one of the things that I want you to keep in mind is that unlike Las Vegas or down in the desert surrounding Las Vegas, where maybe you might experience 120-degree heat, Reno is never going to get up to those temperatures. Yeah, I think in record years we've been close to 110, but that is very, very few and far between when we get that hot. If we have 100-degree days, it's seldom. And during the summertime, you'll experience heat all the way from, let's call it, early spring into late fall. So it's going to be pretty moderate. You're going to see high 80s, you're going to see mid 90s pretty often, but overall, it's not going to be so hot up here that you're going to be absolutely miserable for the large portion of the year. Okay, number 8, high elevation. Yeah, Reno spans anywhere from 4,500 up to 5,500 feet, and it is hot at times, as mentioned. And it is relatively dry due to the elevation. So if you're coming up from a place like the Bay Area and you are used to a bunch of, we won't call it humidity, but we'll just call it moist air, you are going to feel dry skin and you are going to experience certain things along with dryness when you come up to a higher dry elevation. That's just the way it is. But with that elevation comes a number of different things. The air is crisp, especially up in the Lake Tahoe area. And if you are doing any sort of training for, like for me, I do marathons and I do endurance events. And if you train up at this elevation, literally, if you go back and you compete anywhere that is close to sea level, you're going to feel tremendous. So something to keep in mind. Okay, number 7, bad schools. A lot of people criticize the school district up here in Reno. A lot of people say that per student, the government does not put a lot of money into the education system, which, if you look things up, is relatively true. All that being said, you look at the schools here in Reno, especially some of the high schools, and you look at all of the programs, the sports programs, you look at the music programs, you look at the academics. We have a lot of athletes that are receiving full ride scholarships that are coming from the high schools out of this area. We've got a number of different athletes that are professional athletes at this point that came from right here in Reno. Now, as far as the education is concerned, the highlight, in my humble opinion, is going to be on the university, UNR, University of Nevada, Reno. Now, I studied at UNR, just like many of the folks that are coming up here to study, and this university, for under, let's call it $40,000, actually quite a bit less than that, in many cases under $20,000, you can get a 4-year bachelor's undergraduate education from a school that, in my opinion, is fantastic. You know, I attended the engineering program, and we have one of the top engineering schools on the West Coast. The medical school is expanding, and as far as, you know, the college is concerned, it's growing rapidly. More and more students are coming from out of state to come enjoy UNR, and for those that criticize the education up here, I just don't think that that's really fair. The education is up and coming. The university is awesome. Okay, number 6, addiction. There has been a lot of criticism about the Reno area for addiction, for alcohol, for gambling, and you do have to understand that this is a 24-hour town, meaning that things are open for 24 hours. Now, if that's not something you're used to, if you're coming from the East Coast, if you're coming from California where things close down at 2 a.m., alcohol sales stop usually after midnight in a lot of the bars and different things, this is going to be a big change for you. This is a 24-hour town, and people take advantage of that. But it doesn't mean that you have to frequent the casinos and that you have to be out until 6 a.m. in the morning drinking with your friends. You don't have to do that, and it's not as in your face as you might think. Yes, there's addiction here, but it also brings an incredible amount of opportunity, tourism, events. The nightlife is up and coming now because of this being a 24-hour town. We get a ton of shows up here. We're getting, you know, bigger and bigger turnouts for Hot August nights, the Reno Rodeo, you name it. But as far as addiction is concerned, yeah, if you struggle with alcohol and you struggle with self-control, you may want to reconsider coming up to Reno, but what I will tell you is that if you can handle yourself, this is a really fun place to be. Okay, number 5, drugs and crime. Yeah, there are drugs, there is crime up here, just like anywhere else. But what I will tell you is I've been born and raised, I've lived almost my entire life up here with the exception of some time that I spent down in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I have never felt threatened. I've never felt scared to be up here in Reno. There are so many families, there are so many people that are relocating up here to raise their families that I will tell you that this is not a dangerous place, in my opinion, to live. You feel very safe up here in Reno. The police force is doing an incredible job to make sure that they're staffed adequately, especially with all the recent rioting and different things. You know, the Reno PD, they're ready to handle what is happening up here. They do a great job, and yeah, there are drugs and crime just like anywhere else, but this is what feels like a very safe place to live. Okay, number 4, and I laugh a little bit at this one, but the government secrets. You know what? If you're untrustworthy of the government, then Nevada may not be the place for you. Reno is a little bit more removed from places like Area 51 with the extraterrestrial, you know, testing sites and all the things that are going on here. But I will tell you overall, again, I've been here my whole life, and the government secrets and the testing facilities and everything else, they're just not a big part of your life up here. You're not going to move up here and all of a sudden it's going to be very in your face and you're going to feel like you're a part of a big secret community that is run by the government. It's just not the way that it feels up here. You seldom do the locals ever even talk about places like Area 51. It's just really a non-issue. Okay, number 3, tourism. And yes, there is a lot of tourism, and there's more and more tourism here in Reno. People are coming up more and more frequently. A lot of folks that are receiving and taking jobs up here are actually in a position where before they move, they obviously want to walk around, they want to see the space, they want to spend weekends up here. And that does, you know, it brings traffic, and especially for events like Hot August nights, for, like I mentioned, the Reno Rodeo, for UNR football games and sporting events. There are all sorts of tourists that are coming up here. But we do have the casinos, and we have all the hotels and the places that can take care of these people. So if you're a local, even on some of the busiest weekends up here, some of the busiest months, like during Hot August nights, well, you will see a little bit of backed up traffic where it bottlenecks in a couple different places. It's not going to be a factor in your quality of life up here. It's just a non-issue. The infrastructure in Reno has improved. The freeway system makes everything very accessible in town from one side to the other within a 10 or 15 minute period. And I'll tell you what, if you're looking at tourism as being a deterrent for moving to Reno, you're doing yourself a disservice. Number 2, it's boring. What can I say? A lot of folks that are coming from California or people that are from, you know, places where there's just an absolute ton of things to do in the country think that Reno is a place that is boring. Again, I don't agree with that. I just don't think that is true. I think it's a big load of baloney. And the reason I say that is because there's a ton to do in Reno. Lake Tahoe is right in our backyard. Within 30 to 45 minutes, you can be up at one of the world's most beautiful lakes that there is. You've got the Truckee River that runs through town. You've got university events. You have the casinos for leisure and entertainment. You've got a restaurant scene that is up and coming with more and more robust and diverse restaurant options. You've got Midtown, which is exploding with all sorts of things to do. We have shows, we have nightlife, we have entertainment, we have nightclubs if that's your thing. And I'm going to tell you what, if you're bored in Reno, it's simply because you're not looking for things to do. The number one reason why people don't want to move to Reno is because it's just like what they see in Reno 911. Ugh, are you kidding me? Reno 911 isn't even filmed in Reno, okay? And it's not real, all right? It absolutely embarrasses not only this area, but everybody that's up here. And I think, quite frankly, a lot of the locals up in Reno are just sick of people having the perception that Reno is anything like Reno 911. It isn't. And if you think that it is, you are mistaken. I'll tell you what, as far as the RPD, the Reno police are concerned, they are conducting themselves like the utmost professionals. The crime rate is being taken care of because RPD does such a good job. And honestly, the Reno 911 mockery is just, it's silly and it's absurd. So I will tell you what, if you're considering Reno as a move, or as your next place to live, and you're basing your decision off of what you see on Reno 911, just knock it off, okay? Stop watching the show, start talking to some locals, give me a call, we can discuss what things are actually like up here, but do not watch Reno 911 and think that it's an accurate portrayal of what you're going to experience living up here in Reno. Just not true. All right, hey everybody, I hope that was somewhat helpful. I know it was a little bit of a playful video, and we put a little bit of a spin on all 10 things as far as, why they're maybe not as big of a deal as a lot of people make them out to be. Like I mentioned, I was born and raised up here in Reno, Nevada. I absolutely love this area. And if you and your family are considering a move up to the Reno area, I want to talk to you. I've got people calling me from all over the world that are reaching out daily about moving up to the Reno area, and I want to help you. I specialize in helping people relocate up to this area. We can do tours, I can take you on virtual tours, we can discuss your timeline and when you want to be putting the key in the door of your new home. I'll walk you through the entire process. Once I learn a little bit more about you, your lifestyle, your habits, what you're looking for as far as amenities, then we can really dial in on what homes are going to be the best fit and what neighborhoods are going to be the best fit for you up here. Please make sure that you like this video, make sure you click that little subscribe button, click that notification bell so you get notified every time I come out with new content. And I'll tell you what, whether you send me a carrier pigeon, a smoke signal, a call, text, an email, or a direct message, I want to talk to you. Please reach out to me. Write me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I'll send you a free buyer's or a free seller's guide if that's information that would be valuable to you. And hey, make sure you watch the next video. I'll talk to you soon.